Secretary Mayorkas, thank you for your service to this country, and thank you for tolerating with such grace the outrageous attacks, including personal attacks, on your character. I want to make 3 points before I get to my questions for you. Number one, you were handed a broken system, further decimated by the Trump administration. A Trump strategy was systematically to eliminate all legal pathways to come to the United States. The misguided implementation of the Title 42 public health law to circumvent existing immigration law was part of that strategy. So was the horrific Trump separation of at least 5,500 children, 5,500 children from their parents, a trauma which they will likely never recover from. You are absolutely right, this is my second point, that what we need is a humane and just immigration system with legal ways for people to come, including upholding our obligations under international and domestic law for people to seek asylum. But our colleagues have no interest in getting such a system because it is actually too useful for Republicans to not have a functioning system because it allows them to attack and scapegoat immigrants even as they and all of America benefit from the labor and contributions of documented and undocumented immigrants to our country. I am a legal immigrant, and I have no problem with the fact that we need to reform our immigration laws. So let me get to my questions. Secretary Mayorkas, how does the previous administration's harm to the refugee system and attacks on legal immigration affect the people who are coming to the border?
Congresswoman, what we have done is shut down lawful pathways in the prior administration, and it drives people to seek the dangerous journey to arrive at our southern border and make a claim of asylum. That is why this administration is so focused on rebuilding safe, orderly, and humane pathways as our laws provide, so people do not have to take that perilous journey when they fear persecution by reason of their membership in a particular social group, which is how our refugee and asylum laws are built.
And can you just briefly talk about the administration's work to rebuild the refugee system and any other specific quick measures you want to mention that mitigate the numbers of people seeking protection at the border?
So there have been a number of efforts to dismantle our refugee system in the prior administration. Number one, of course, to decimate the agency that administers it with the Department of State. That's the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. And also to take down our international operations, which provide incredible services in furtherance of our refugee system. And so we have plans to rebuild our international operations. And as I have stated earlier in this hearing, Congresswoman, to hire our personnel that adjudicate refugee claims, screen people appropriately for their eligibility.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. One part of the problem is the capacity of our immigration agencies, as you said, to timely process benefits. Another is the law itself, which doesn't allow us to have immigration that meets our needs. And moreover, the only punishment for breaching immigration law is deportation. There is no middle ground. No matter your family ties, no matter the decades you've lived and worked in the United States, I have a resolution, Roadmap to Freedom resolution, that calls for us to adopt a compliance-based approach, similar to what we do in the tax law system, by implementing scalable immigration consequences that provide a way for people to come into compliance with the law. Do you think that such an approach warrants further investigation to encourage and facilitate compliance with immigration law?
Congresswoman, I would be pleased to review your proposal and to discuss it with you. We have to fix our broken immigration system, and as I have stated previously this morning, and for many years, it is broken in so many different regards.
Let me move to the detention system. If we had immigration laws to meet our needs and scalable consequences to give people opportunities to secure status, we wouldn't need enforcement and detention to the level we need them now. Right now, the immigration incarceration system allows private for-profit prison companies to pad their bottom line while subjecting people to horrific conditions that have led us to preventable deaths. Do you agree that immigration detention should not be driven by profit?
Congresswoman, I know that one of the president's commitments is to end the for-profit prison system in the immigration system. What I have done in the Department of Homeland Security is adhere to our standards of detention, to focus on those facilities that house people in substandard conditions or do not otherwise comply with the standards that have been in existence in the Department of Homeland Security for many years, from administration to administration. And so we will hold facilities accountable and those who operate them to make sure that they comply with the laws that we have imposed.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Madam Chair, I seek unanimous consent to enter into the record a 2021 article, 48 Hours of Border Chaos, inside a CBP crackdown on Iranian Americans, describing how the previous administration wrongfully detained hundreds of Iranian Americans at the northern border in Washington state for over 6 hours, including U.S. citizens and legal permanent residents. And I also seek unanimous consent to enter into the record a public health letter that was sent in May of 2020 from public health officials, dozens and dozens, opposing Title 42 and saying that the CDC at that time had based that order on specious justifications and failure to protect public health. Thank you, Madam Chair. I yield back.